offer, acceptance, consideration, intention to create legal relation, and compulsory. But in this video, we just want to highlight acceptance. We will define what is acceptance, terms of acceptance, and so on. So let's check it out on the next scene.
What is acceptance? In Section 2, Clause B, Contract Act 1950, the action of consenting to receive or something offered. A proposal, when accepted, become a promise. In Section 2, Clause B also decides that only whom the proposal is made capable to do the acceptance.
For example, it says B, I give you 50 ringgit if you help me carry all these boxes to my room. Only B is capable to accept his offer. If C, who is standing near, heard about the offer, C cannot accept. If C interested, C can make an offer to help A with the boxes to get the money. It is up A whether to accept or reject his offer. Exception if it is the case of unliteral contract, as in the case of Carlier versus Carbolic Smoke Ball. Terms of acceptance. The first one is absolute and unqualified. Section 7 Clause A provides that the acceptance valid only if absolute and unqualified. If an offer is accepted by the introduction of a new term, then the acceptance is void and automatically will destroy the original offer. The offeree does not make an acceptance, but is making a counter-offer. A clear example can be seen in Hyde versus Ranch. The defendant made an offer to sell his estate to plaintiff for the price of £1,000 sterling. Plaintiff agrees to buy for £950. When he receives no answer from the defendant after 2 days, he agrees to pay the original price of £1,000. Defendant refused to sell. Plaintiff sought order of specific performance from courts. He claimed that a valid contract exists when he agrees to pay £1,000. It was held by court, but the plaintiff no longer can accept the original offer. The original offer destroyed when he made a counter-offer.
Be expressed in some usual and reasonable manner. The second condition under Section 7 Clause B is every acceptance must be made in some usual and reasonable manner, unless the proposal prescribes the manner in which it is to be accepted.
Silence is not acceptance. Why?
In Section 7, Clause B gives right to the offerer to prescribe the manners in which offer is to be accepted. The offerer is not allowed to prescribe silence as manner of acceptance. Silence is a situation when offerer refuse to give answer and offer. The law decided that silence cannot be treated as acceptance to an offer. The principle can be clearly seen in Feldhaus versus Bentley. Defendant, who is an auctioneer, is under duty to auction part of J. Feldhaus' property. Plaintiff J. Feldhaus' uncle interested to buy a horse that is supposed to be auctioned. He wrote a letter to his nephew that reads, "If I receive no news from you, I will consider the horse to be mine at the price of £30 and 15 shillings. J. Feldhaus does not answer the letter, but has instruct defendant to pull away the horse from being auctioned. By mistake, defendant sold the horse. Plaintiff filed a claim. The court held that there is no contract. Based on Section 7 Clause B, acceptance must be in some usual and reasonable manner, unless the proposal prescribes the manner in which it is not be accepted, but it does not give rights to the offerer to prescribe silence as an acceptance.
Types of acceptance. First, made by express. Express acceptance is by verbal or in writing. For example, express acceptance include signature, orally agreeing to the offer, shaking hands, or even exchanging business card with the offer and accepted terms. Second, made by implied. Implied acceptance is by one's action or behavior. We can see in case Western Electric versus Welsh Development Agency. The defendant offers to rent his premise to plaintiff. If plaintiff agrees, plaintiff is to fill a form as requested by defendant. Plaintiff fails to fill in the form but moves in and starts operation in defendant premise. Plaintiff then move out after finding that the premise is not safe to be occupied. Plaintiff claims damage for breach of contract from defendant. In his defense, defendant claims that plaintiff cannot claim damage as there is no contract between them. The contract is void as the acceptance is void. However, court decided that valid contract exists impliedly. Defendant is not making an offer, he is making an invitation. Offer made by plaintiff when he moves into the premise and acceptance by the defendant when he lets plaintiff operates and receive rents.
Made by conditional acceptance places on expectation on how the offer is accepted. Cases. For example, Encik Ahmad accept Mr. Tan offer to buy his radio that plays on electric shop as long as Mr. Tan pick it within the next hour. If the person does not come within the next hour, under conditional acceptance, the offer is no longer valid.
Is acceptance need to be communicated? The answer is yes. Generally, communication of an acceptance completes when it comes to the knowledge of overall. For example, if A make an offer to B from the other side of the river and fails to hear acceptance by B because of the noise from the boat's engine that passing the river, B's acceptance is not valid. Or if A made an offer to B by the telephone, at the time B accepted the offer, the line was actually cut by some disturbance. There is no valid contract. The use of telecommunication apparatus such as telephone, facsimile, video conferencing is categorized as the express communication. Communication of acceptance has two sections. The first one is section 4 clause 2 clause A. Communication of an acceptance completes as against the offeror when offeree put the acceptance letter in a course of transmission so as to be out of the power of the offeree. The second one is section 4 clause 2 clause B. Communication of an acceptance completes as against the acceptor or offeree when it comes to the knowledge of the offeror.
Section 4, Clause 2, Clause B. Communication of an acceptance complete as against the acceptor or offeree when it comes to the knowledge of the offeror. Therefore, the postal rule is introduced. The application can be seen in household fire insurance v. grant. In this case, the defendant has made an offer to buy shares in plaintiff's company. Plaintiff accepted the offer and sent the acceptance letter by post. The acceptance letter is lost in post. Before long, plaintiff is facing financial difficulty. When plaintiff asks for the money, defendant refused to give. Defendant claims that there was no contract between them since that he did not receive the acceptance letters. The court held that the valid contract exists between them. The acceptance completes as against the offeror when the acceptance letter is put in a course of transmission to him.
So then, the most important thing is in acceptance that the offeree must fulfill all the conditions that set by the offerer, so that the offeree can avoid from the offerer to revoke the contract and the agreement. So So that's all for us. Thank you.
Bye.